squad. Big Pat Shell and Dante the Dark Child. Drop the stats on him, drop the facts on him. Spur King, baby, let's get it on.
Hey fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome. We have been gone a while, but we are back, and you know why. You know why we're back, right? There's no mystery unless you've been sleeping under a rock. One of our legendary, very own uh, hero to the Eagles organization, a hero to the city of Philadelphia, Jason Kelce has retired. And what a emotional press conference it was for him as he announced that retirement. And the guy is just like I used earlier. He's legendary. Even his retirement press conference was legendary. It had a little bit of everything, and I will have to admit that my eyes got moist. My eyes got moist. Yeah, I mean, and that along with the fact that there was somebody nearby cutting onions, my eyes got moist. They got very moist, and uh, just a class act all the way through. 13 years spent in Philadelphia. Came from the Cincinnati, University of Cincinnati, and from Cleveland Heights, and he came here and spent 13 years with us, and he became a Philadelphian. After his tenure here, we can all embrace Jason Kelsey as one of our own. And he gets us. He gets us. He even stated so in his press conference, and we'll get to that a little later on. But how are you guys been doing? We've been off for a month since the end of the season for the Eagles, and things are starting to ramp up a little bit, starting with that Jason Kelsey retirement announcement. And now the combine is over, and we're hearing more rumors about free agency. We have a ton of money, so we'll talk about all that tonight. But before we get to that, let me just bring in Pat. And Pat, you give me your thoughts on the whole Jason Kelsey press conference and your feelings afterwards.
Well, first and foremost, what's up, Dark Knight? I haven't seen you in a while.
I know.
The first thing I want to do, I want to shout out your fraternity, Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated. They had a little happy hour where I just came back from.
Oh, okay. All right. All
uh,
right.
yes, listen, man. Jason Kelsey, he personifies the ultimate Philadelphian as a Philadelphia Eagle. We always talk about Brian Dawkins, how he has put the city on his back. Jason Kelsey has done the same thing. He's one of the most revered athletes in Philadelphia history, period. The beginning of his career here as a fifth round draft pick, to end his career here as a Hall of Famer. Um, it is certainly he certainly will be missed. What he brought to the game from the time when they said he was too small to play the center position coming out of Cincinnati, to him being one of the top centers ever. Man, listen, it is surreal today that we sit here and celebrate him, celebrate his career, celebrate his legacy that he's left there, and see what he does after the game. Because I know he's going to stay around and help out this team as much as possible. He already laid the foundation for future endeavors in podcasting and journalism. But you know what, Dark Knight, besides Dawkins and he's up there. He's up there on the Mount Rushmore of Philadelphia Eagles.
And deservedly so. He is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of Philadelphia Eagles. And like I said, and this is, I don't know, it's not unprecedented, but like you said, he's going to go down in history as one of the best centers, if not the best center in the history of the game. That says a lot. He talked about that in his press conference.
Mhm.
Let's bring on our third co-host here. We have the whole gang together here after so long being apart. Hey, how are you, Miss Michelle? How are you?
I've had better days.
Better days. All right. Well, all right. So, pep up a little bit. I mean, I don't know if we can get you pepped up because Jason's gone, but then we're going to talk. We're talking about that. Jason is a legendary class act, and he's no longer with us. But we enjoyed the 13 years he gave. He gave us his heart, soul to this team, to this city. But I don't know if I agree with you, Pat. I don't know he'll be around to help the team as much as you may think. I think that he has a bright future in the broadcast journalist, TV industry. So we may not see him as much as we would like, but I know his heart is always going to be with us. But tell me, Nichelle, sum it up. How'd you feel? How did you catch any of the press conference?
I caught the whole thing live while
Yeah,
I was working. So, it took a minute to get it started. He's a
Yeah.
crier. So I think the first 10 minutes was really him collecting himself before he could get to his speech. So it was emotional, talked on heartstrings. What I really found impressive was the fans that were not Eagles fans celebrating him.
Hmm.
Cowboys fans, all of our rival fans.
yeah,
So the impact he had, just around the league, it was so much bigger than Philadelphia. And even the way, him and his brother's podcast took off. I've been listening to New Heights since the week they started, since their first podcast. I was having a conversation with someone from Odyssey, who works in both the New York and Philadelphia markets. Just talking about how great, listening to him and his brother and how relatable they are, being from Cleveland Heights and being from, similar blue collar backgrounds that so many of this fan base is from.
Hmm.
So just how he related to people on the base level is also going to be missed, as well. He's
yes,
gonna that's a huge it's huge shoes to fill, but I do think that we were set up to do that because we did start bringing in some younger linemen. I'm not in the camp of, oh my God, doom and gloom. He was the best, one of the best in the league. Yes, of course he was. He's a Hall of Famer, you know. But at the end of the day, we got Stoutland.
yeah.
Nobody
About to
else
say
has Stoutland. We
he
Hmm.
got
have his teacher.
Stoutland. It's Stoutland
Eh,
University in Philadelphia. So if the next best center is going to come from anywhere, it's going to come from Stoutland University.
yes,
So
I agree. I
that's how I
agree.
feel about it.
Shout out
And
to Styling University.
Yeah,
amen
thank
to
you
I,
that.
because you
we
know
need some shirts of those.
Yeah,
he
man.
made he
Yeah.
made a he talked about that at his press conference and talked about and he credited Stoutland with saving his career and reviving it. Actually,
Mhm.
Jason wasn't a bad center prior to
No.
Stoutland, but after Stoutland, he just hit Hall of Fame level. So, but without I've been talking long enough. Let's bring our fourth co-host into the picture here, and that's you guys in the room. We miss you guys. We've been going for over a month, and we have not seen many of you in that time. So, let me just welcome the first person in the room tonight is Richard Layton, and Richard was the first one to like the comment. I mean, like the post about us being on tonight. So, Richard, what's up? Richard says, "What's up, family? What's up, Richard?" And
What's
my
up,
man
boo?
Dion, I put up a Throwback Thursday photo, and Dion put up a Throwback Thursday photo, and his photo was him taking a jump shot back in the '90s. I was a little jealous because why didn't I think of that? But he did. He put up a picture of him taking a jump shot in the '90s. Looked like he had great form, Dion. I wish we could have met up then. All right. And the third person is Nina. Nina says, "Good evening, y'all."
Good evening,
Fourth in
Miss
the room
Good
Nina.
is
evening.
Daz Dante. He says, "Fly, Eagles, fly. We're going to miss Jason." Yes, we are
Yes,
going to
we
miss
are.
Jason. Rachel is in the house. He says, "Hey, fam, miss y'all. Yeah,
Hey,
we miss you guys
Rachel.
too." And JT is in the house tonight.
What up,
Well, it's
JT?
time
What
again. Yes,
up?
it is time. We're going to continue this tribute to Jason Kelsey, but we're going to talk about the Eagles and what they're doing and the rumors out there and all. I thought that his press conference was just as legendary as the player himself. I don't know if it supersedes the Super Bowl parade speech, but it
No.
had a lot packed in there in 45 minutes. And I like you, Michelle. I sat and I watched the whole thing, and I loved the part I loved about it. And this is why I say he gets us because he seemed to send a message to his teammates and whom he's left behind about what it means and what it is to play in front of us as Eagles fans. Did he not break that down? He said, "You guys, these guys, we're passionate about our team. And yeah, we'll give you hell when you don't perform, but that's the beauty of who we are. But we will also embrace you like no other fan base when you do well." And then he used the perfect example of the Zach Ertz situation a few years back when he ducked a block against Cincinnati, and we killed them. We booed them unmercifully on that day of the game, and then the following week, the first catch he made, which was a tough catch in traffic, he makes the catch, and it takes three defenders to bring him down. And we embraced the crowd erupt. It was almost a standing ovation, but that is just how we are. We'll eat you up when you don't do good, but we will love you to death when you do play your heart out. And that was a perfect example of that happening there. So, Jason gets us, man. Like I said, after 13 years coming from Cleveland Heights and a blue collar town such as ours in Philadelphia, um, I would say he retired and he is truly a Philadelphian at heart.
Yeah, he's definitely a Philadelphian at heart. I said fifth round draft pick. I have to apologize to Jason Kelsey. He was a sixth round draft pick,
Yes, yes,
um,
he was.
and from being barely making a team to us saying I remember my brother saying, "Yo, Jason Kelsey is too light in the ass." He
Yep.
literally said that because we're used to centers being 300 pounds, and we're not used to athletic centers. Like he literally
Mhm.
changed the game for centers in the NFL. Not only do they have to have technique, now you have to be able to pull, be athletic, get out on the edge. He did it better than any other center we have seen. I listen.
Yes.
There's some great centers in NFL history. Jeff Saturday, Otto Graham, uh, Demarty Dawson from the Steelers. I probably say his first name wrong. There's been some outstanding centers in the league, but Jason Kelsey, his name rings bells, and he did it year in and year out. Even though last year it didn't look like he declined, he was still a first team All Pro.
Yep. Yep.
He's
Yep.
still first team All Pro. He's still All Pro. He still has some juice in the tank, but to go out like this at this particular time on his own accord, not letting the league force you out, is what most players don't get the opportunity to do. Most players don't get the opportunity to go out on their own terms. And Jason Kelsey went out on his own terms, and we respect the heck out of him.
Yeah, and I'd like to quote him what he said on his New Heights show for those that don't watch
Hmm.
about what's to come. One of the things I very much don't like and that I'm disappointed in retiring right now is I'm retiring when the Eagles had the biggest collapse in the history of the organization. And the reason I'm upset about it is it is I truly think the Eagles are going to ball out next year. I just
Hmm.
really think there's going to be one hell of a bounce back next season. Although I'll still be around and in the facility next season, and a part of it I won't be on the field, but I'll enjoy it a different way. So he's letting you know that I already know what's coming down the pike, even though I'm not going to be there.
Hmm.
Watch out for the bounce back.
Yeah,
Watch out for
definitely,
the bounce back.
definitely.
And I'm on board with that also. I hear the Joe Gillios speaking about it's going to take 2 seasons, and I'm not of that camp. I believe that the bounce back is going to be immediate, and we know where we need help. We need help on the defensive side of the ball. We
Hmm.
have a ton of money now, so how we can work his widgetry, and I think I have confidence that he will do so. I don't think that there's a lot that we need to add to the offense. We'll get the necessary
Mm-mm.
pieces. This
Mhm.
offense was still fully stacked last year. It was just the those that were running the offense didn't really know what they were
Put the
doing, in
players
my
in the
opinion.
position.
Right?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
didn't
and
put
they
them in
didn't
position.
execute as well as they could have too. I think it was a combination of both.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but that doom and gloom that some people are preaching, it's I just don't see it. Yes, we need some help on the defensive side of the ball, but we're not starting from scratch. We still have one of the most potent offenses in the league just player wise, personnel wise. So what do you think? We're just gonna waste that away. These boys are gonna play with a chip on their shoulder this year because of all the negative talk from this fan base, all the negative talk from the different sports media. They're going to play with a total chip on their shoulder this coming season. So don't expect it to be sweet. Don't
It's
expect
going to
it
be
to
a
be
problem
sweet.
with
Yeah,
It's
Kellen
they're about
Moore
to be a
coming in
problem
the
because they got
game.
an attitude
Yeah,
right now.
with Kellen Moore with his creativity, Kevin, this is not going to look like last year's offense at all. Kellen Moore is a very creative mind on offense. He has run the most pre-snap motion in the league. So, where we saw none of it last year, almost very, very little. We're going to see a lot of things happen before the ball is even snapped. And you imagine he's going to be like a mad scientist getting his hands on this offense here with all the talent that we have with the quarterback. And we don't know who's going to be playing running back. And we'll talk about that too, because Swift may be out of here. But I think that Howie is going to pick up a adequate replacement for him. But then the wide
hey,
receivers, the tight end, and the offensive line is still going to be in the upper echelon of the league, if you ask me. Imagine what Kellen Moore what this offense is going to look like. It's going to be almost, I think it's going to be similar to when Nick Sirianni gave up the play calling duties to, his
Shane
name
Steichen.
is
Yeah, to Shane Steichen. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I
there.
think
It's
yeah.
going to look like that. What do you think, Pat?
I mean, listen, I look forward to seeing what this office can bring forth under Kellen Moore. Like you just said, Dark Knight. I look forward to more pre-snap motions. What I called it before, the salad dressing, before the play. Like we need that more than ever now, especially with our situation in the backfield. We don't know what we're going to have as a running back going into the new season. And like I said, we're gonna talk about it a little bit later. And I'm gonna give you my opinion what I would do. But with the guys, with the horses, with the receivers and offense that we still have, even though Jason Kelsey is retired, like I said, he's going to still be around the building. He's still going to assist here and there. Might not be on an assistant coach level, but he's still going to be there, Dark Knight. Cam Jerkins is an adequate replacement. Tyler Steen, it's time for you. Your rookie season is up. It's time for you to put your big boy britches on and step into that guard position and play that game. Even if you want to do that, I could talk about another free agent that's out there who is a familiar name, Nichelle, a very familiar name. But I look forward not only for this offense, but what this defense is going to do. I have a
Hmm.
feeling we're going to have a whole new linebacker core, a whole new
Hmm.
back end, and as far as safeties. I just look forward to what this free agency is going to bring to this team and how he's going to do to help beefing up this offense and defense moving forward.
All right, you guys out there, let me get to some comments out there. Everybody's happy to be back on and talking. Um, John Batiste says, and when he gives his Hall of Fame speech, he better wear the mummer's outfit. He talking about
Damn
Jason
right.
Mhm.
Kelsey.
Damn right.
Hold up, Dion's messing with the shell. Oh no, the shell walked in pissed. Who did it? And where do we live? Where do they live? Dion's ready to come to your defense. All
I
right.
don't want to put them
Um,
on blast right now. It's all good. I don't want to. I don't want to put them on blast.
The show over there drinking some corn
okay.
liquor. That's what it is. It's that
Sue
it's
Sue
that crazy.
says, hated to see him go retire while he's still on top. He definitely was still on
Hmm.
top.
That's right. That's
Uh,
right.
he said, Jermaine says we still got baby Kelsey, so we're going to be good. Yeah, talking about Sturgis. So yeah, I think that imagine now just jumping ahead a little bit. Imagine us getting the offspring of two of our Eagles players. Would that be something? We got John Runyon Jr. out there, and
And
That's
then
what I was going to
James
Axeman
mention.
Jr.
and the Axeman
Yes.
Jr. out there. If we could bring both of their youngins, their offspring, to this team, how much better would that team be? Our team be rather. That would be incredible. And both of them are. They will be useful pieces. They will be welcome additions to this team. And I look forward to it. I know how he's going to do something. He's going to win the off season. with 40 plus million, maybe 50 million to work with.
We tons
Watch
of money.
Howie.
We got tons of
Yes,
money.
that's a lot. That's
We
a
just
lot of
released
money.
Avante Maddox, so we got a ton of money, and it's going to be, it's not going to be about us giving the money to the free agents. It's about the free agents choosing to come to Philadelphia. That's the bottom line. That's going to be the bottom line. It's not going to be, oh, we can't afford this free agent because you don't have money. we we in the upper echelon of money available to throw at players.
And I believe
um,
we're going to keep Reddick too. I believe we're going to retain Reddick.
oh, they're
Yeah.
working on
And
a contract
yeah,
right now.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
they
definitely,
are.
definitely,
That would be a huge mistake.
definitely.
I
yeah.
know we're supposed to talk about the running back, but I just feel as though why we got Kellen Moore coming in,
Hmm.
unless it is a Saquon, why are we rocking the apple cart? Like we didn't utilize our running backs before. So this whole round robin every year with a different starting running back, it's
Yeah.
not a good look for me. It's really not a good look for me. We can't get any consistency in that room
Hmm.
if we don't actually invest in that room. And nobody's saying you have to break the bank. We know you're not going to spend that much money, but at least solidify that room so we can have the same group for 2 to 3 seasons in a row.
Definitely.
Well, I think there's some young running backs out there that Howie might be willing to do that at the right price. I think he can bring in. Is it Eckler? Eckler's out there, right?
But are they going to keep them
Yeah, that's what I
for
mean.
more
Less
than a
free agents.
season?
So this is my proposal for Howie Roseman. Listen, Swifty, when he was able to give him the ball, he fits our scheme. He fits whatever
He
Period.
does.
scheme. All right.
He
Period.
does.
Saquon
Yeah.
Barkley is going to be out there. Yes, he's going to command a lot of money. He also fits the scheme.
Period.
With,
Yes.
with a
Yes.
running back stable of Swifty, Barkley, and Gainwell, you have
It's a wrap.
a stable of running backs that fits this offense. All right. Because if you go back, and I hate to do this, if you go back and look at the Dallas when when Caleb Moore was there, their offense was predicated first off the run basis with
Hmm.
Ezekiel Elliott and the backups, and they made things move with that. They ran the ball a lot to set up everything in the passing game. They utilized the tight end. There were a lot of different pre motion formations that put people in motion to utilize leverage on the defensive side of the ball. So if you can bring Swifty back, he fits this offense. If you can, since we can get Barkley, don't go out there and get Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is a
Mm-mm.
different type running
No.
back in this
No.
type of offense. All right,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
these running backs fits this scheme. All right, now I know you talked about Jeremiah Trotter, but the one name I really do like out there right now, if you don't feel confident in Tyler Steen being your guard moving forward as Cam Jurgens is moving over to his rightful position as center, John Runyon Jr., like you said, Dark Knight, he's out there. He
Hmm.
played very good in Green Bay. He was a very good offensive lineman. In Stoutland University, he can be a great offensive lineman. It's just a reunion of family back here. Now I know you
Well,
want to go out
what
there and
is
get
he? A
Jeremiah Truder,
tackle?
huh?
Is he a
He's a
tackle?
guard. Actually, he played
Is a
guard.
guard?
He's a
Oh, good.
guard, so he
All
can
right.
play
That's what's up.
guard.
Hmm.
Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Yes, we would love to go out there and grab him in the second or third round. But there are going to be some guys. Dark Knight. When I say there's going to be some guys out there that's going to be available, there's going to be some dogs at the linebacker position that I love Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Hmm.
Edgerrin Cooper from Texas A&M, his range, his ability to get to the ball, his speed, his awareness. He reminds me of a younger what's the linebacker from the Seahawks that everybody slept on. I can't remember his name right now, but he reminds me of the young linebacker
Wagner.
from the Seahawks, Wagner. He reminds
Right.
me of a young Wagner. That's his range.
Wow.
That's his
Wow.
range. Um, Trotter, listen, it's a family reunion.
Hmm.
We're gonna get some of these guys that we haven't seen. That
Hmm.
yeah, that's gonna happen. But Cooper, he's a dog
Well,
out there.
I think that Fangio is going to have Howie's attention and his ear, and I think Howie's going to give Fangio what he is asking for. And if that happens, then I have the utmost confidence that this defense is going to look markedly improved over last year's defense, which started with not enough talent, number one.
Right.
And then that was multiplied by the fact that the D coordinator was not very good. So you give Fangio, who is a veteran, knows what he's doing, give him the groceries he wants to cook with. You know what I mean? Give him his
Mhm.
groceries. Let's shop off of his shopping list and bring in those ingredients. And I think that we'll have a fast bounce back on the defensive side of the ball come next year. And we already talked about the offensive side. The talent has always been there. The coaching did not match the talent level of the players on the offensive side of the ball.
Right.
So I'm thinking that I'm 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 very optimistic about next year, and we know
Mhm.
that it's going to be, I guess, the biggest jump we need to see is on the defensive side of the ball. So speaking from that perspective, you guys tell me what are the most important positions we need to fill on the defensive side of the ball.
Corner. A
Yes.
Corner over the
linebacker.
linebacker?
Well, I say they're kind of equal because our corners have kind of, fell off, but I would say linebacker has the edge. Okay, linebacker first, corner
We
second,
don't we don't have any
safety last.
linebackers. We have no linebackers.
No
N'Kobe
Zero.
linebacker.
Dean, I'm sorry. Listen, I gave you all the accolades in the world, Michelle. No Kobe Dean is not it right now.
He's
Um,
not.
if we're
He's
not
not.
able to get Edgerrin Cooper or Jeremiah Trotter is another rookie, Wilson from North Carolina State, who had a tremendous combine, but also his tape when healthy backs up his play. We got to focus on the linebackers. We got to focus
Mhm.
on it. We got to focus on the extra corner.
How many?
But
How many linebackers we need? We need two starting linebackers.
we need a free agent linebacker that's going to start, and we
All
need to
right.
draft at least 1 to 2 rookie linebackers. That one that can be a special teamer that gets ready to get in that position, and another one that could probably fill in his first year. Uh, but I'm gonna be honest with you, Dark Knight. We have a couple guys on the roster that may surprise. Isaiah Rogers, the guy that was suspended last year,
Mhm.
he made Avante Maddox expandable. They dumped him.
Mm.
They dumped Avante Maddox. He had 1 more year on his contract. They said no, we letting you go. Um, but I hate to do this because I feel like I'm the Raiders guy now. Xavier Worthy from Texas, who broke the combine speed record at 4.21.
Mm. He
He's
was
not just
moving.
yeah, he was moving.
Yes, he was moving.
And it's about going to the right schemes. It's always about going to the right schemes. Because we do got replace Quez Watkins. You know the
Oh, now y'all want to replace him.
well, his contract
Oh,
is up, so we got to
Well,
replace
I
him.
mean, we already said after this we was done. I mean,
Yeah.
there was nothing, we called that like if Quez didn't produce, Quez didn't produce. But
no, I
Uh,
it
called it when Quez shouldn't have even been in the damn building when the
you
season
did.
started.
You were first. You were
Yeah, you,
first.
you you
We were
definitely was. But
you
you
were
know what?
first.
The Ravens did release Patrick Queen, even though he's on the smaller side of 6 foot at linebacker. He has a nose for the football. So
Mhm.
I would love to see him being picked up as a starting linebacker, and us drafting somebody like a Patrick Willis, a Jeremiah Trotter, or a Edgerrin Cooper. At the other linebacker position, and working Dean in there because he could be adequate at times. Um, then from there, from linebackers, our linebacker position is the most glaring hole on our defense. Let's not be twisted. You talk about the offensive line missing Jason Kelsey. I think we're gonna be fine with that. Our defensive line, we're probably going to add a high price free agent. And who I would go after is Christian Wilkerson from Miami, who is a dog. He's a monster. All right,
Yeah, I
Mhm.
heard that. I heard
he's a
that.
monster. But besides linebacker, Dark Knight, far as our glaring need, it's not corner, it's safety, man. It's
Yeah,
safety.
safety. I agree with
CJ
that.
CJ Garden Johnson definitely is out there. I know there's rumors out there and stuff like that. But until it happens, we need safeties. We need playmaking safeties. We do. That's how this
Mhm.
defense works. Look at it from afar. Brian Dawkins was a playmaking safety. Malcolm Jenkins was our playmaking safety.
Mhm.
Whenever
We
we have playmaking safeties, Michelle,
The defense chips. Period.
Exactly.
It's like the catalyst for us, and it's been the missing piece. I feel like for the past several seasons, to be
Hmm.
honest with you.
Yes.
You know.
Well, so we need one safety, right? One safety. We don't need any corners. Do we need any corners?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if we got a corner. I'm not going to sit there and say no. We don't need a corner.
No,
Yeah, we
but
need a corner.
I mean,
we do need a safety though.
Xavier Howard is out there. He was one of the top 5 corners in the league. We have
we
money.
still, yeah, we do have
Got
money.
money.
Yeah, we do have money.
Vic
It's gonna
Fangio
be
had these guys. He had Christian Wilkinson.
right.
He had Xavier
What about
Howard.
the linebacker that I'm hearing that was pretty good in Miami that may be available? I
Van
can't
Winkle, I
remember
think
his
it
name.
is. I
Yeah,
think
something like
Eddie
that.
put it up there.
Mhm.
He's a grinder. He's one of the guys that grinds it out. He makes his plays off the edge. Um, you know, over Patrick Queen, I'm not sure. I wouldn't do it.
Iffy,
Yeah, I mean
iffy.
he's a good player, but I don't see us not going after Pat Queen.
Well, we talked about Vangio having Howie's ear. You don't think Kellen Moore will have Howie's ear about his running back room and what's he want and what's he doesn't and what he
I,
doesn't want?
I think they're talking about it right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I know,
With
but
those
who's going to
rumors,
have his ear
yeah.
the most? That's the biggest thing. I mean, well, I guess Howie knows the balance. It's not a lot that we have to add to the offense, right? So,
Mhm.
we give Kellen Moore his running back or whatever, but Fangio's got to have Howie's attention
Hmm.
more than Kellen Moore
Well,
in,
it's
in this
needed. It's
situation.
needed
It's
more.
needed. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's needed. So. If the both of them hand in the shopping list, you got to get more ingredients off of Fangio's off of his list because he needs some ingredients to put in that stew. He doesn't. This stew is just potatoes and water right now. He needs to throw some meat in it. He needs some carrots and he needs some things in there. Some things to thicken it up. Make the gravy right. So get the things off of Fangio's list more than Moore's list because we have if he just brings back what we have, we'd be all right. If he brings Swift back, and I'm not really opposed to Eddie's suggestion, but I do like what Pat said. It's some kind of way that we can have Swift uh, and Barkley, then I would definitely go with that combination over Swift and Henry. But Swift and Henry is not a bad combination because you imagine Henry's not going to get that much money. He's not. He's just not. I
Mm-mm.
know what he's done the last 5 years and all, but he's an over 30 running back with a
Yeah.
lot of miles on
On them.
the
Mhm.
tires. You know what I mean? A lot of miles. So, Howie, this is a prime position for Howie. Howie would he do Howie things in a negotiation with Henry's agents right now. So, he can what I'm saying? Howie does Howie things. And with an opportunity to get a running back like Henry, I think he would get him at a really good price. So Henry and bring Swift back because Swift is looking for a boost in salary. It's just how
Of
much of a
course.
boost is he worth?
I'd rather get a running back in a Henry. We're not going to keep for more than a year. That's what I mean. Like, why can't
No, but
we?
Swift though, Swift is a
Yeah,
more
but I
longer
think we need
term
to keep
plan.
Swift a little bit longer and maybe groom another running back. You
Uh,
know,
I mean, all right. So if we want to
because
do that,
Saquon gets hurt a lot. Let's be clear about that.
because
Real
you know what,
talk.
it's the New York Football Giants. They suck. All right, you go to New York to get injured. That's what happens. Let's be honest. And I always talk about players not fitting the scheme. Saquon doesn't fit the scheme because they don't have the quarterback. When you don't have the quarterback, you do not fit that scheme.
I don't know if they
Um,
don't have the quarterback more as though they don't have a line. They don't have a
they don't have
line.
the forget the
A
line.
line.
They
They
don't
don't
have
have
the
Stoutland.
quarterback. All right.
Look, they said this man was sacked 50 times in the 5 games he played. Like, look, he was sacked an incredible amount of times in the short period of games that he played last year. That's why he didn't last. They killed him. They have they have no offensive line. But I don't want to talk about the Giants. They
Yeah,
have their own problems.
we talking about it. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I saw a comment about cutting Bradbury. That's $15 million in dead cap hit. We're not doing that.
No, we're
Um,
not doing.
it's but the thing about it is we can get Swift on a 2 year contract. He had his best year of his career with us. He
That
first
part. Who
first time over a
gives someone
thousand
their
yards.
best year
All
of
right.
their career?
So the thing about it is you pair him with another running back that's dynamic, right? Because this offense need dynamic running backs. I know we
Is
want the
not
bell cow.
Swift dynamic?
I
Swift is
just
not
saying.
dynamic.
I'm just saying you pair them with another dynamic running back. If you
He
have
wants
Swift,
two. He wants
if you
double
have
trouble.
Oh,
if you have Barkley, and you have Gainwell, Gainwell is taking on the big short yardage running back in this offensive scheme. If you have that going forward, and you have our receivers like this offense. I wish I was the offensive coordinator to put together schemes to 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 terrorize these defensive coordinators. They will have nightmares thinking of what they can do against
Mhm.
this offense. It's not a
Mhm.
thing about what you can do with it. It's a thing of how you can utilize them because you can put Swift in the slot, you can put Barkley in the slot, and we've seen it. When he's healthy, he's one of the top 5 running backs in the league. Swift last year was a top 5 running back in the league.
but do we need a bruising running back for the short yardage? Is that Barkley can fulfill that role? That's what you're saying. Barkley can fulfill that role.
Barkley can
Short
fill that
yardage.
role. Yeah, he can fill that role. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
he's 215, 20 pounds. He runs a 4.4 4.3. He runs away from defenders, so he can run up the middle when you design these different plays. And I know Swift. Swift is a young cat.
Yeah, he
That
is. I
part.
like Swift.
Swift,
I
I think he's
love
what
Swift.
24. I think Barkley
Yeah.
is what 26. So you're looking at guys you could have here for the next 2 to 3 years if you
Hmm.
pay them properly. And yes, the Eagles don't pay their running backs, and it shows. Like as much as we love Boston Scott was shouldn't have been there last year. As much as we love these other running backs, some of these other running backs shouldn't have been there. Maybe we should have kept Miles Sanders and paid him because he works well in our scheme. Well,
Yeah, he did.
you don't think Barkley is a upgraded Saquon Barkley is an upgraded Miles Sanders?
Yeah, for
He
sure
Absolutely
he
took
is.
his
yes.
For
he took
sure.
his spot at Penn State. So
Yeah, and you see what
Well,
Jason's comment
they
is
was
that
his
he's a good
backup.
pass blocker, and we expect our running backs to block here and our
yeah,
receivers.
Believe it or not,
Everybody,
right.
Swifty was a good pass
he
blocker.
was a great pass blocker.
Mhm.
Yes,
He
he
was a
was.
great
Yes, he was.
pass blocker.
As opposed to the my man that got no time last year. Who was that? That what's my man name?
Penny.
Um, Penny. Yeah, Penny. He was worth the
I
penny
have no
last
clue
year.
why we picked him up and he's not going to play. I have
I
no
know.
clue
I
why we
didn't.
did that. That
I
just made
liked him in
absolutely no sense.
Seattle. I had no idea that he had no blocking ability at
None,
all. That part
none whatsoever.
I didn't know
What
that.
about
We
CJ
found out the hard way.
coming back? What y'all think about that?
I would love
I
CJ
like I
GJ.
like him.
I
Yeah.
liked him too. I
We
liked
talk.
his play. I never understood how they let him go. He didn't want to go. He caught such an attitude with us when he did leave. I don't need so it's like you should have never let him go in the first place.
Well, he let himself go because
He
they
did love
offered
so
him a
well.
deal
Mhm.
and he turned it down. And about when he turned it down, Howie went and spent the money. And then he wanted, then he came back and said, "Oh yeah, I want to take it." Like, yo, we just spent the money, man. We just spent it. So that's he got caught in the numbers game. So if he's willing to come back, and he's not going to get super paid if he comes back because he was hurt
Mhm.
last year. So if you look at the totality of his career, he's injury prone. So, and he had the best chance to make good money the year he played with us. He was one of the top safeties, even though he got hurt that year. But he led the
Mhm.
league in interceptions, even with the games missed. He led the league in interceptions. So,
Mhm.
um, we'll bring him back, and how we bring him back for a good price, and I'll have him. I'd love to have him back because he's a playmaker. We didn't see nearly as many turnovers last year as we saw the year he was here. So I would love to have a playmaking safety on the field this year, along with some. Uh, I don't even want adequate linebackers. I want some above average linebackers
Oh, some
because we've
monsters.
seen the opposite side of below average linebackers, and that was not pretty at all. So give me some linebackers, give me a playmaking safety, and I think that we can inject one of our young corners in there if Bradbury does not have the bounce back year. I think one of those young guys are ready.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So you're definitely right. You're definitely right, Dark Knight. It's going to be some guys that's going to be ready to get in there. So some draft picks that we can talk about later in another draft show. Um, there, this actually free agent class is something to behold. These linebackers, these safeties that didn't be released. Justin Simmons got released. Uh, um, Antoine Winfield Jr. just got franchise tagged, so he was available at one point. Calvin Ridley, the guy we wanted to trade for with the Falcons a minute ago, he's available, as a slot receiver. Uh, Xavier McKinley is another safety you can pick up. Josh Jacobs, I haven't mentioned him. He's available. This
Josh
this
Jacobs is available.
Josh Jacobs, as of right now,
He
is
is?
he is available. He will be a free agent come the beginning of the NFL year. Let me double check it to make sure they didn't tag him because they said they're trying to work on a contract because they're not going to tag him again. That's what they said. They're not going to tag him again. He
Well, Josh
is
is going to cost money. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to have him in the building, but he is going to cost some money.
he's a free agent. He will be a free agent.
He's not going to be cheap.
Yeah, he's not going to be
Do you not?
He's
I
not
have
going to
faith
be
in
cheap.
Howie.
But I do
Yeah,
like
I
the
do
comment by
too.
Eddie. You guys see the comment by Eddie, like Van Ginkel, from Miami. He's a dog.
Yeah.
Patrick Queen, Van Winkle. I saying Van Winkle like it's the drink, it's the whiskey. um, Josh Jacob. Listen, how we truthfully we have the money. How we cannot go wrong in this off season at this particular time. The only way he can go wrong is playing somebody like a Chase, what's his name, Chase Young, all this extra money who doesn't give effort. Like
Yeah.
pay these guys that give effort. Even Chris Jones at this second is a free agent, which I think Kansas City is going to get his deal done. No top
Chris
Tony
Jones, I thought
Pollard.
they signed him.
If let me go back to it. I think he's a free agent as of
I
right
thought they gave him his
now.
money last year because I thought I thought he held out. I thought he was missing in the beginning of last season. They gave him his money and brought him back in.
Nope. Chris Jones. He only had a salary for 2014. He can be released or he could be signed. He signed a 1 year deal last year from 23. Yep.
Oh, 1 year deal. Okay. Well, yeah, he's somebody too. But no, I think how old is he? He's too
Chris
old.
Jones? No, he's not
Mhm.
old. He's still a monster. He's played 7 years in the league. How old is Chris Jones?
So what's he, 29?
I don't care how old he is. I would still sign Chris Jones.
Like,
Now
I don't care.
you would take Chris Jones as opposed to the tackle from Miami.
He's 29.
I
Yes.
was right.
Yes, he's 29. Even though Christian Wilkinson is an upcoming, younger cat, Chris Jones is established.
No, Howie will go get Wilkerson because he's younger and he get the value and the age. Chris Jones is going to want money. I know how he shops. I know how he shops. He would take he would take Wilkerson. Wilkinson
Wilkins. I mean, he's
reminds
only a year
Wilkerson.
younger, though. He's only a year younger. He's 28.
Uh,
That's not much. That's not much.
You
no,
need
it's
some.
not. It's
You
not
need
much.
somebody to
I thought he was
replace.
like
Yeah,
26 or something.
you need somebody
No.
to replace the big power of Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox. Um, Speaking of guys retired, Fletcher Cox definitely, I believe, is going to retire. BG signed a 1 year deal
Yeah.
a day ago, so he's going to be
Yeah.
back for one more season.
Yeah. This
But
is
Fletcher
his
Cox,
last season, so he can
yeah.
Yeah,
finish
this
out.
is going to
So
be yeah. Yeah, you don't want to go out with Fletcher and Jason. Nobody will notice you walk out the door. Don't go out the same time as those guys.
Yeah.
They won't even notice you're going. Like, did BG leave? When did he leave? We didn't even see him. So yeah, you need to wait another year so you can have the attention and the spotlight you deserve walking out of the building. So let me get to some comments here. Burntberry. Somebody's coming at Bradbury.
It's
Burntberry needs to go.
$15 million if you cut
Yeah,
him.
we can't.
He
We
even
can't
better
cut
move
him.
to safety or something.
Somebody said Calvin Ridley. We are looking for a number three receiver. Who do you
I
think?
would love the Calvin Ridley. Like he actually is a
Hmm.
reliable
Yeah, I would love
receiver.
him to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be unstoppable with
Pretty
Calvin
much.
Ridley
Yeah.
in the slot. Oh wow. He did
Hmm.
not too bad last year. I had him on my fantasy team, in which I won. I don't have my belt here. Maybe the next show. I won the league, our chapters
Congratulations.
league, and I got a belt. They gave me a big
That's
heavyweight
nice.
belt, so I get to hold it for a year, and then next year I'll hand it to the next champion, which will be me. So I'll just take it from my left hand and put it in my right hand, and
Use
that'll
a
be great.
mess.
We'll have a good. So, but so the defense, I think we need one receiver. And when I talked about uh, a cornerback, a young cornerback being able to hand that position, I was speaking about from within. I
Hmm.
wasn't necessarily talking about a draft pick. I was thinking that
Hmm.
Ringo or one of those young guys are ready to
Rogers.
take a
Yep.
step.
I'm
Yeah,
down for that.
Rogers.
Rogers, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think they're ready to take the step. So if Bradbury
Hmm.
is not not showing signs that he has recaptured his youth, then I think one of the actual youth can take his job and play alongside Slay, because Slay is still playing at a high level. He's
He
not
is.
probably Slay of 4 or 5 years ago, but Slay is still playing at a high level.
He's
So I
still
think
one of
he
the best
keeps
in the
his.
league.
Yeah, I do. I believe that. I believe he's still one of the best. So we have another year or two, maybe just another year with Slay. I don't know. But one of the young guys stepped in. Slay stays there. We bring in a starting safety. I think we need to add two starting linebackers. We were just sucked at that position last year. We need two, at least two starting linebackers and a defensive lineman, of course, because Fletcher is on his way out of the building. And with all of that being said, I think that defense can be salvaged. And we're going to need these young guys to step up because Jordan Davis he's not wowing me. He's not wowing me. I mean, he starts off okay first 2 or 3 games, and then he kind of
It's
disappears.
just it's just dedication. It's just right now is it's on him for his dedication to the game. How
Hmm.
much do you really want it? How much do you really want to be a bust? How much really do you want to stay in this league and stay relevant? Like we talked about Fletcher Cox for many years. He's at one point he was 1-2 with Aaron Donald. Even last year, Fletcher Cox had spurts that you said, "Oh man, this is the dude we drafted 13 overall."
Yeah,
Yo, Jordan, it's time for you to step up, big baby. It's time for you
yeah,
to go up there and do your
Hmm.
damn thing. Be the reason why you was the first round draft pick.
That's
Be the
right.
reason why this team, can bring one extra defense lineman and say, we good. It's
Hmm.
your off season right now. Right now, you should be
Hmm.
mhm,
working your ass off on two things: your endurance and your get off. That's the two things you be
Your
working on right
footwork.
now.
His footwork needs work.
Wait, be quiet, man. You can't talk like that. These young guys are sensitive, man. You're gonna hurt this guy's feelings, right? And we're gonna lose him. You
Where my
guys don't
soundboard
No,
at?
first
Where
of all,
my
Dante, I'm
soundboard
not.
at?
Yeah, right. No,
stop
listen. Let me tell you
it.
something.
He's gonna hear
Our
you. Stop talking about him
No,
like
our
that.
critiques are about execution and play. It's a
Correct.
different when the media is critiquing your character and saying you got so much money, you're arrogant. We don't do that on this show.
No.
Let's be
Okay.
clear.
All
You
right.
We
Fair,
critique
fair.
the right way. There's constructive criticism and there's destructive criticism. We do
Okay.
very
All right.
good at the constructive criticism here where we're not attacking them as people, we're not attacking their character, we're critiquing their play. all the time. That's all we talk about here are X's and O's. We're not sitting there manufacturing things as
Correct.
reasons why they didn't play well enough. Let's be clear about that. That's not what we do on this show. So I I was happy that they called some of that out because we listened to some of that stuff and it makes no sense. A lot of
Right.
that stuff is clickbait. And somebody that was a journalism major, I know better. And I
Mhm.
was my sports editor for my high school newspaper. I know better. So I'm not sitting here. I own a communications company. So I know the media game. I know how you could properly do an interview, critique in the sports world, critique them and get all the information you want out of them without insulting them.
Yeah.
They cross the line from criticism, and go into insulting,
Yeah,
and
they're
then
crazy.
say, you know what I mean? So
They're
no,
crazy.
yes, it's a tough place to play. But when you get the fans riled up that they think it's okay to insult these people, to insult them as character, to insult their character, to insult them as men, that's a bridge too far. That's not, and that's the rabbit mouth fans that and the media spurs that on with these kind of manufactured drama. It's like Mean Girls game. And it's really
Yes.
petty and it's beneath us, and we've never done that here on that show. You see what I'm saying? We've always critiqued, we've always held people accountable, but we never ever have attacked them and insulted them in doing that. And that's what these people do day in and day out.
Oh, except for Quez. I have attacked him, and I have. I'm sorry. That's what I did. I did it.
You never
I
you
raised
say he
my hand.
couldn't
I,
play.
ra- I
Yeah,
raised
but
my
Hold
hand.
up. Wait a minute.
you never said
Mr. Full
anything
Critic.
about Quez's
Oh
personality. You was
man.
like,
I
get him
don't
off the
even.
field.
You can't even give me
The
a peanut
show.
butter and jelly sandwich for Quiz anymore. That
Yo.
offer has gone down. I would not take it. I wouldn't even take a glass of milk for Quiz right now. Just show him the door and let him go. But no,
The
I'm
Sorry,
glad
show.
you
Quez.
did.
He just
I'm
sound like
glad
Keith
you
Lee.
set
Dark Knight
this
Hmm.
just sound
record
like Keith
straight.
Lee.
Hmm.
I'm glad you set the record straight so that Jordan Davis will understand that this is this is just straight big boy talk. You
Get your
need to put your
Yes,
big
it's
boy
time.
boy, get
pants
your
on and
game
get
up.
out there and do the
That's right.
job that we hired you to do.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, Fletcher is probably one of the few
Thank
first
you.
round picks that have lived up to the hype when he came out of college. We don't have many of those, but Fletcher's
Mm.
one of them. Fletcher
Do you think
was a
BG did the same
dog
thing?
coming out of college. No, I mean BG. I mean his overall career
Uh-huh.
maybe, but I think it was a slow start, and we
It
expected
was.
a lot out of him coming out the
We
gate.
did.
He wasn't as highly touted as Fletch coming out, but he
Nah.
was expected to do more, and it took him a while before he got it going. So I wouldn't compare them. Fletcher Cox though came out like 5-star recruit, and he played like that from day one. And
Yeah,
think
he
about
did.
it, he was an all-decade a choice at defensive tackle, all-decade choice,
Hmm.
alongside Aaron Donald. They were the
Yeah.
most dominant defensive
Mhm.
tackles during that time, and he might have been the most dominant defensive tackle had it not been for Aaron Donald playing during the same era.
Hmm.
Fletch was that guy. The only other first round draft choice that I think played up to their billing was Lane Johnson, that's currently on the team.
Well,
Lane Johnson
he
came up.
wasn't touted like Fletcher was. You
No, he
remember Lane
wasn't. But
Johnson he was a quarterback that moved to tight end who had opportunity to play defensive end that had to move to tackle because both of their tackles got injured. He moved to
Talk
right
and
about
he,
tackle.
versatility.
He went to right
yeah,
tackle first, Dark Knight. Right tackle
yeah.
first. They ended up his career at Oklahoma playing left tackle. So he played both sides of the ball at Oklahoma. It was a quarterback at one point. They ended up getting drafted number 4 overall at
Hey,
right
chef.
tackle.
Oh, that's Chef right there. What's up,
Uh-huh.
Chef? My neighbor
I got to do
says,
this,
I
Dark
said it
Knight.
before and I'll say it again,
I got to do this for
14 and
Jason,
a
man.
half Dogecoin for Quez. That's all. Dogecoin is worth like negative right now. Like,
It,
it's,
it definitely is. It
Not,
definitely
not
is.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 14
I
and a
should bring.
half. That's
I should
I
bring it
do
up right
have
now.
a Fletcher Cox story though, which makes me feel old as hell right now.
Mm.
Um, but his wife went to high school with my oldest son. So the fact that he's retiring and they're like
Wow.
2 years apart, or no, a year apart in age, is still blowing my mind right now.
Wow. Wow.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's another one we have to prepare for. Fletch walks out the building. I'm sure his press conference is not going to be as legendary as Jason Kelsey, but
probably be super
that'll be,
short too.
yeah, be super short. But it's going to be tough watching him lead the organization. Also, he's been a main staple here, and he has played at a very high level for a very long time. And like you said,
Hmm.
Pat, he showed size. He showed flashes of that excellence last year in spurts. He
Yeah.
wasn't he
Yeah.
wasn't the old Fletch the entire year, but in certain stretches of the season, you saw that old Fletch emerge, and it was great to see. Unfortunately, he didn't have the supporting cast around him on defense, but if he calls it a career, he had a heck of a career, and I hate to see him go, but Fletch gave it his all, and I love him. I love him also.
Can I do something real quick for? I know we running short on time. Um, and we already talked about Jason. And we talked about his accolades. Well, we didn't talk about his accolades. So, just to bring up some things, he's a Super Bowl champion. You know, he gave one of the best speeches in Super Bowl history, Super Bowl winning history. He's a six-time first team All Pro at center, seven-time Pro Bowler, most recently last year, and first team last year. He's a two-time All Big East. Uh, I saw a stat out there. They was talking about Travis Fredericks, the center for the cow turds. Like, you know, how the team changed when he retired. Flex groomed Cam Jurgens to be his replacement.
Kelsey.
Kelsey,
Kelsey.
Kelsey,
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey groomed Jurgens to be his replacement. He said he's going to be around the building. He's going to help these young guys out to strive to reach their potential, to make sure that offensive line doesn't falter, to be there to help bring the message that Stoutland brings across to get it across, because he did it for how many years, you know. I know we didn't do any shots in this, and I know you're not drinking Dark Knight, but I'm gonna crack this bottle that's been holding this for a month, and take one shot down for the best center in the game.
Did y'all see
All right,
Nick
let's do
Foles
that
chug
as
a
we
beer?
close because
Talk
I
about
have
he
to
still
go.
got it.
We're going to do this shot in the closing because I'm at volleyball practice and it's over. So I got to get out of this building. So, look, you guys, man, thank you so much for joining us tonight as we talk about an old friend who has left the building, Jason Kelsey.
Yes,
We're going to miss him.
yes.
And you guys get your adult beverage of choice and let's do a salute to Kelsey as he retires, an all-time Eagle, future Hall of Famer. We're going to miss you, Jason. Love you, guy. So I haven't said it all show, but you are watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team and our favorite player, Jason Kelsey. And we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So, in honor of Jason Kelsey, everyone raise a glass and down the hatch. Three, two, one.
Salute.
All right, guys.
Whew.
We will see you guys next week, or maybe not. We'll see. We just came back off of vacation just to give you guys the
Definitely
show,
did.
but we
Going
might
back on
be
vacation.
back next week. We never know. Just look out and stay tuned. I'm your man, Dark Knight, for my co-host with the co-most, Michelle and Pat. We'll see you guys soon. We're out. Peace. Play the song, Pat.